Hi, everybody. Thank you, iGaming Next, for having us. I always love doing these panels. Today, we're going to talk about trends for growth in 2021, and I have taken over iGaming Next with my team, basically, to see what they think about the growth for this year, what's going to be our plan, and hopefully some general ideas about growth. Do some quick introductions. I will start. I'm Ree. I've been in iGaming industry for 15 years, in Malta for 10 years, and at Zimpler for 2 years. My experience has always been focused on the supplier side, very B2B focused, so affiliate software, affiliation and marketing, and now payments. As the CCO, I oversee a few different areas, so sales, account management, marketing, and some areas of biz dev and expansion. So things like new markets and new segments. And in general, I am all about startups. I really love joining something small and messy and being part of organizing it, planning, structuring, and then growing. So yeah, I will hand you over to the team. Magnus, tell us about yourself.
Hi everyone, nice being on the panel. Really fun way to end the week. I just started at Zimpler. This is my first week actually. I have been working prior to this within the business information industry for about 12 years, including the majority of the time at Bisnode. I will be based in the Gothenburg office for Zimpler. I will be responsible for the sales within our new segment, fintech and finance. And I have a passion for online businesses that disrupt their own businesses. I love to simplify and explore new ways for business opportunities for mutual revenues and long-term relationships.
Yeah, nice. It sounds like exactly what Zimpler is all about this year. Super happy to have you on the team. And Sarah, also welcome. Introduce yourself.
Super. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I've also been in the industry for about 11 years. But something completely different. I was also in like casino and affiliation, and now I've moved into the exciting world of payments. It's my first week as well, like Magnus, we both started at the same time. It's super exciting to be here, and it's just like a super challenge to be able to sit there and like learn all about it. And it seems to be very exciting times at Zimpler and very exciting times for the industry. So we're looking forward to taking it by storm.
It's going to be a journey for sure. So one area of growth I wanted to touch on a little bit is one that's really impacted Zimpler, or one that we've really focused on, which is cutting the crap, basically, or killing your darlings. I think a lot of people have heard of Zimpler, but more likely as the mobile e-wallet solution that they launched 7 or 8 years ago now. Which was how Zimpler was built, basically, an e-wallet that offered card payments and some various other payment options in Sweden. That kept the company going. We grew for those 6 or 7 years. But 2 years ago, Zimpler took the change or the decision to focus on instant bank payments. So for those 2 years, we've been running both products, growing a lot in the instant banking space. And really, at the end of last year, it became clear that the old product was legacy. It was something that we had because we'd always had it, but it wasn't where we wanted to focus. And it takes time and resources to maintain something. So we, in Q4, we decided to kill the product effectively. We killed the e-wallet solution so that we could focus purely on the bank payments, which was a huge step for Zimpler. It is where they started, but it's the best decision for us. And I think it translates into most or many companies, especially with everything that happened last year. It's a really good time to look at how you're doing things and see if there is kind of fat that can be trimmed. Is there legacy products, legacy tools, or processes or policies that are draining your time and your resources that could be better spent elsewhere. So definitely, yeah, cutting the crap, looking at how you're doing things and seeing if there are things that you can get rid of so you can put much more focus into only what is going to serve you the next year and serve growth. So that's been a big one for us. But then, yeah, we're expanding the team now. We have 2 new teammates, Magnus and Sarah, who are really going to focus on growth for us. And I think the areas where we plan to grow will be relevant for a lot of different companies and industries. So I wanted to hone in on Magnus and his area for growth for us and hopefully for you guys. So that'll be new industry focus and diversifying. So I'm super curious, Magnus, about what companies or what type of segments you see potential for in 2021 in order to grow.
I think it's a very good question, and I think it's a question that's really fun to answer. Since Zimpler has been very successful within the iGaming, and that success has also been quite an eye opener to the potential within other industries that are, like the iGaming sector, very heavy on transactions or interaction between the company and primarily consumers. And I think for sure one type of area or segment that's going to be very, very interesting for Zimpler to explore and try to expand the product and service to will be within the fintech area. And that fintech area covers basically everything from prop tech to insure tech, all types of different companies that offer online services to consumers. Another area that I'll be looking into will be, of course, the lending industry, both the traditional lending industry, but also the peer-to-peer industry, and also the traditional mature financial or finance companies that will probably be forced to somehow change their business perspective or their business model due to the fast-growing startup companies within the financial sector all over Europe, not only here in Sweden but in the rest of Europe as well. So that's what I think is going to be a very interesting and challenging 2021 for Zimpler.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think the payments as well specifically is one where there's so much potential, and especially in a market like Sweden where they have the tools and bank ID and stuff to make payments very simple. Yeah, so what do you think that, Zimpler or in general new companies will need to think about to be successful when expanding into new industries?
I think we have to ride on the change consumer behavior that's been more or less perhaps expanding the last years. Price is always relevant, but I think you also have to add more and more value between the company and the consumer or the client or whatever it's going to be. Either it's business to business or it's business to consumer. I think you have to be able to give more than just generic product. You have to be able to focus strongly within a win-win time of partnership with your client. You have to have a more flexible approach towards pricing, support, how often you will be conducting meetings between each other, simply growing together. Due to the ecosystem, I think you have to have a cutting edge as a provider to be able to do more than just your core product. You also have to be willing to help your client with other areas, even though they are not, for instance, in Zimpler's case, payments. But can we add some value in connection, network, whatever it could be, just to add some value to the customers? It's going to be a big booster. And of course, we have to be product oriented. We have to listen into and receive input from our clients to how can we improve our product, how can we tweak it, how can we make it work within one segment to another segment, or as Sarah's going to be focusing on, how can we actually just scale up Zimpler's product and offering into new markets.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think like being agile, being flexible, and working together with clients is really going to be the key in all areas for us. But yeah, then to hand over to Sarah a little bit, who'll be focusing on new markets expansion within the iGaming space. Today, Zimpler is live in 4 EU markets. So we're live in Sweden, Finland, Germany, and Netherlands with our instant banking product. So yeah, how do you see kind of EU versus rest of world for the growth potential in 2021?
Okay. So basically, I mean, I still see there is a lot of we still see there's a lot of potential in Europe. Although, I mean, there are a lot of regulations. The market is like becoming more and more restrictive, and we have much more to do in terms of actual payments and KYC, etc. So it is becoming more regulated and it's becoming harder to work, but it's not about working harder only. If you do work smarter, I still think there's huge potential in Europe, especially for the product we offer in terms of like an instant banking product. We're live in these markets in Sweden, Finland, Germany, and Netherlands. But when you consider Finland, and especially Germany and Netherlands, there isn't really a product, which is no product is perfect, but there is huge room for improvements, both when you consider working closely with the regulator and with our clients as well, who we consider as our partners, and who will actually be the main basically feedback providers for when we further develop our product. So basically what we do is we launch a minimum viable product, which we know can work, but obviously then we get our clients, big players in the industry, to actually give us feedback, because it's not only obviously what the regulator wants, it's not only what we want, it's actually what the merchant wants, because it's what the clients want. So getting that feedback loop and really perfecting that is what I really want to focus on with our EU clients. And it's the same as well, obviously, with our outside the EU. It becomes tougher in Europe, so obviously we're starting to look out at different areas, different markets, which are very often a completely different kettle of fish. So you have to ask different questions to the questions that you ask when you're targeting like EU countries. Not everybody has bank accounts. It's not always so easy to get them, like in terms of technology. But we do have some very interesting markets which have been earmarked, and we're very excited at the prospects that we have going forward. So yes, it all looks very, very good. In terms of both the EU and outside the EU, like it's both of them are something I would like to focus on this year, and Zimpler will be focusing on this year.
Yeah, it's a super interesting time, I think, when it comes to the regulation and the type of focus you've had. We always wanted to focus on those regulated markets because it seemed like safer revenue. But with the way regulation has been going last year, like it's sometimes it feels like high risk focusing on these regulated markets when the UK bans credit cards, Sweden is adding deposit limits, Finland may be doing a payment block. Although it's not regulated, it's super tough to keep on track of what is happening in the regulated markets. So yeah, it'll be really fun to explore different types of regulation outside of Europe, and also some other markets. And yeah, looking to the future, I think the world feels small, but it's a big place, and there's a lot of potential. Do you have any like key markets, non-EU, that come to mind as a first step to explore?
I discussed probably, well, LATAM is always very interesting for me. I do have a significant amount of experience as well in LATAM. And I know there are certain markets there which have the infrastructure that we need for our instant banking product. So that is definitely a go. Canada is interesting as well. India is also very interesting. The world's our oyster. We'll see. Exciting times.
No, exactly. And then as we have a few minutes left, something else like we touched upon a little bit in our team meeting, and that I think the kind of situation last year and everything that happened made you think that you really need to, as a company, focus not on just the future, but also on the people that you have today. And I think something we're trying to look at is growth internally, like growing each other and your department and your teams and your careers. So that'll be a big focus for us as well. If we have happy employees who feel they see a future at Zimpler, then they'll definitely be a huge part of the growth outside. I think that will be super helpful. But yeah, I think that was, I don't know, did you think anything else you guys would like to add about the trends for growth this year?
I think it's going to be, as you addressed within our team, but I think it's going to be very important to raise the bar within the collaboration, both internally and externally as a company. I think it's very important to, when you conduct business between companies, I think you have to be able to learn from the process and not, for instance, if you lose a deal or if you don't manage to get the deal just the way you want to, I think it's important to actually learn from that process as well, just because probably you didn't address something like that. And then you have to go back to the drawing board, see, well, all right, what do we have to change to tweak our product or our offering just a little bit better? And that's not only for Zimpler. I think it's going to be a major focus for all the businesses, especially now since we
for sure
living under a pandemic, very strange world.
We all have to be so agile in everything we do. If it's working from home, if it's homeschooling the kids, if it's launching your product, changing your product, tweaking your product. I think it's all about being agile, I think, and flexible, and not basically saying, listen, this is our product, take it or leave it. It's more about working with the client and talking about our product with the client having a sense of ownership with the product, because that way then they really do understand it and they really can offer and stand behind the payment methods that they're offering their clients as well, which I feel is super important. After having worked in the B2C industry for 11 years, I think that's super important to be able to do.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think being agile, flexible, collaborative in all aspects is going to be a big help. But thank you guys. It's been super fun having a quick chat with you about the growth. And I'm really excited about this year for the industry and for Zimpler specifically. Thanks, guys.